Will and I have embarked on some pretty crazy road trips over the years, but driving a 20-year-old LDV to China has got to be one of the stupidest yet. We'd expected it would take about 3 weeks if everything went smoothly, but smoothly and 20-year-old LDV pilots probably don't belong in the same sentence. We'd sorted out our visas and paperwork for the van, and even bought a tent because there was only room for one to sleep in the van at night. But apart from that, we were massively underprepared. Will did, however, have a good reason as to why we were making this epic journey.
Yes, that's right. Last year I visited the new LDV factory in Shanghai, where the new owners were proudly displaying a framed picture of a red pilot on the wall, which they reckoned was the royal family's favourite vehicle. I didn't have the heart to tell them they actually meant the Royal Mail. Anyway, I reckon it was about time that they found out firsthand just how horrific the pilot was. So, I wanted to deliver this one to their head office. We took a late afternoon DFDS crossing from Dover to Calais, and whilst on board began to plan our route, which would take us through France, Belgium, Germany, Poland, Belarus, Russia, Kazakhstan and China.
Although the van looked a bit rough at the edges, it had made it to France. What it lacked in performance and comfort, it made up for in charm, with a surprisingly sporty exhaust note.
That noise is great.
It is, isn't it?
A few miles off the ferry, we picked up a hitchhiker called Lucas, who was thumbing his way from Wales to Sweden, and wanted a lift to the closest truck stop.
What, heading to Amsterdam first and then over to Sweden?
His journey sounds about as stupid as ours.
No, you wish. You don't want to come with us to Shanghai, do you?
Despite planning to spend the next 2 weeks sleeping rough, Lucas said he pitied us for having to spend so much time in such an uncomfortable van. Everything was going fine, but then we reached Belgium.
Right, it's a little bit worrying. We're about an hour from Calais. We're in Belgium, in a town called Dick Milk or something. We stopped to do some filming and now it won't start. You just turn the key, it's completely dead. No lights on the dashboard. Check the battery, that's connected all right. I fiddled with a few leads, but nothing seems to be working. Go and try it again. Go on. What did you do?
Dunno, I must have the magic touch. Oh well, onwards and upwards.
Back on the road, we decided it was time to find a campsite, which proved to be quite easy. In fact, a lot easier than attempting to erect a tent. Hopefully we'd get better at putting it up after 3 weeks.
Well, I don't envy you sleeping in that. I've got to be the first person ever to be glad about sleeping in an LDV.
After all that hard work and having made our beds, it was time for a well-earned cuppa. At least it would have been if we'd remembered a kettle.
We've forgotten the stove, the tea bags, milk.
And hadn't smashed the teacups en route.
All the crockery's broken because George went round a bend too fast.
We spent the morning driving across Belgium, playing word games to pass the time. Back on the road again, we figured it was time to learn a few useful Chinese phrases. We'll stop yet again for some more food, and I've just been in to go and grab a drink as well. While I was in there, this caught my eye. Can you see that? Spa-Francorchamps is just around the corner, and although we can't go and take this around there, it's given me a bit of an idea. So I've looked it up on the map, and if he falls asleep, which is quite likely because he's eaten quite a lot, I'm going to divert us to the Nurburgring, take this thing around it, see what it can do. It won't go down well because it's not really en route, but it should be fun. Right, it's coming. Alright, there you are. Get in the passenger seat, I'll drive now. Will's finally fallen asleep, which is just as well because we're now well on the way to Nurburgring. I think when he wakes up he won't be best pleased because he's worried that this isn't going to make it. Taking it around the most feared and dangerous track in the world isn't going to do his confidence any good.
Right, George wants to take the LDV around the Nurburgring, which is the most stupid idea I've ever heard of. It'll kill the van and it'll probably kill us as well, but I'm just hoping they won't even let us do it anyway.
We're on. Only 29 euros.
No, you're kidding me.
Come on.
This is just stupid.
I was even more concerned when I saw the sort of cars that would be on the track at the same time as us. But I must say, I was surprised that a £500 van could attract as much attention as a whole bunch of supercars.
This is it then. Hey! We're about to do a lap of the Nurburgring. Here's one. Oh! On the inside. Motorbikes. Stick right on the inside. Oh god. Oh! On the curb. Oh, this is nuts. This is horrible. Almost how long do you go? Oh my god! How far is that? Shit! Christ! These come past. Every time. Oh my god! This just makes you jump. This is so scary. What an amazing film.
Well, we just did it, and we set a new record as well. Well, the first ever LDV pilot to go around the Nurburgring. That was terrifying.
There's just Audis and Porsches coming past at like 150, 160 miles an hour, and we're doing 60.
I've been gripping hold of the roof for dear life.
It's just like you're like a sitting duck. Seriously scary.
Unfortunately, and perhaps for the first time ever, Will was right. The Nurburgring had taken its toll on the pilot. The exhaust was in a seriously bad way. In fact, it's come off its mounting to the top.
Is it?
Yeah. We'll just get that fixed when we reach Poland then.
Oh, I know a good Polish mechanic, but he's based in Sutton, so that doesn't really help.
We tried to cover as much ground as possible that day and enter into Poland where we assumed the repair bill would be cheaper. Well, we've just had to pull over because the temperature gauge has spiked, and I think we can see why. We managed to talk a friendly pickup driver into giving us a tow to the nearest garage, which was about 10 miles away. So we've made it to this decidedly dodgy looking garage where we found a mechanic, and unfortunately it's looking like bad news. He says there's a hole in the radiator and it's going to take a couple of days to find a replacement. We've also got the problem with the exhaust, the weird electrical gremlin that's causing us problems, and we've kind of come to the conclusion that we probably need to call it a day on this one.
We admit we've bitten off more than we can chew, and it's time to cut our losses and run or walk. He's offered us the equivalent of about 70 quid for scrap, and I think we're going to have to take it, which means it's the end of the road for the pilot and for us as well.
It was an ambitious plan, but we've made it around the Nurburgring, so I think we can, at least be pleased about that.
Yep.
Come on, let's go and get our stuff. Bitterly disappointed to have not got anywhere near China, we were faced with only one option: take a leaf out of Lucas's book and hitch a ride home.